for a few minutes. I'm going to pull you up on my iPad.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. This is another coffee conversation with travelers, travel authors, small group travel providers. So, tonight our topic is packing tips, packing hacks, things that we each of us do. I know we all are trying to pack lighter, but there's all kinds of little ways that we might do that. So, I'm excited to hear from other travelers and things that are working for them or things that, they just gave it up and they're going to ship, just ship the bag or whatever they're doing. So um, I'll go ahead and start with you, Kathy. I know you always have some good packing tips and hacks, and especially maybe have some tips to give others that may be traveling with new challenges.
Well, I think I focus primarily on taking as few outfits as possible. I only, no matter how long the trip is, I take 7 pairs of underwear, and they're quick drying underwear, so I can wash them out in the evening, and they'll be dry by the morning. So that saves some space. And I when I travel, I'm not going to see the same people, other than the people in my tour group, ever again. So they're not going to know that I wore the same shirt 3 days in a row. And even when I go on cruises now, if it's a long cruise and there's 2 or 3 formal nights, I just take the same outfit and wear all 3 nights, and nobody ever notices. It's ridiculous. I think the biggest challenge for me is I'm a woman of size, and so things like warm clothing uh, takes a lot more space than it might for somebody who's petite like April. And I bought a bunch of clothing for the polar bear trip that I was supposed to take, but now my next trip is cruise to Antarctica, so I'll just use the same clothes so that I can go out on deck and take pictures. And the nice thing about that is then you can go inside and warm up, have a hot chocolate or something. I do use packing cubes. I just have bought some of those compression bags, and I'm going to try those my next trip because I don't have a weight restriction other than the airline's weight restriction. And I never get even close to that. To pack some of the bulkier items, like insulated running coat that I'm going to take, and insulated pants and that kind of thing.
Nice.
Has anybody else used those?
The compression cubes?
I have.
I
No,
have.
not compression cubes.
No, the bags.
The bags.
The air out.
And
Yeah.
you suck the air out.
I have.
Okay.
I've used both ways, like with the little electric pump and also the pump.
Yeah, no, I got the one with the little electric pump that you charge with the USB. It doesn't save you on weight.
No.
But if you're more limited in space, so I'm thinking like next year I'm going to Kenya, and I'll probably use it then because I will only take a carry-on.
Nice.
Because because of the trip that we're on, we're pretty limited in the amount of luggage we can take.
Right. Yeah. Lori, some of
Yeah.
your tips.
Yeah. So I have been traveling for over 40 years, and although I say I'm not going to pack a lot, I always do pack too much, and I wear probably, like Kathy, the same things over and over again. They're my favorites, but I have the other ones anyhow. And every time I get home, I say, I'm not going to pack a lot again. And I know I'll probably do it anyhow. I can't stop myself. But I also use the packing cubes and the compression cubes. Because when I go on trips, I go for at least 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. And I try to find places where I can do my laundry. Some hotels will allow you to do your laundry there, which are great, but there's other hotels that don't. And so I was lucky enough when I was in Hong Kong to have a laundromat directly across the street, and had a free tay and lugged on my washer there and did like 2 or 3 loads, and it was, had all new clothes again for the next portion of my trip. So yeah, I heard Kathy when she's going to Kenya. We do trips to Kenya and Tanzania, and what we do is we allow one duffel, a rolling duffel per person, because they have to be able to squish it into the vehicle. They can't have hard-sided luggage. You have to have soft luggage, and so we supply everybody with a duffel from us. So they all look the same. They have their tags on, and we can identify them easy when we need to get them from the conveyor belt at the airport. But so you might think about that, like a small duffel or something instead of a backpack, just to have a little bit more room. There's lots of
is that I use a wheelchair, and carrying something like a duffel is a lot harder than rolling a suitcase along with me.
Yeah, they're rolling duffels, so it's like a suitcase. You can just roll them. They have handles, so they do have them. But I understand it's difficult to do that. So yeah, I kind of depend. I don't usually bring toiletries like shampoo and conditioner and stuff. I depend on the hotels to have that. And the only country I've ever regretted that was Ethiopia, because they did not have anything in the rooms at all, like not even a bar of soap.
Oh.
So yeah, they were not ready for prime time for travelers yet. But every place else that I've been in, the hotels we stay in always carry shampoo, conditioner, soap, and stuff like that. So that alleviates a lot of the packing, of the heaviness of the suitcase itself. And I have all the mini my face soap and my moisturizer and whatever makeup I use. So I have that. That's can go in a carry-on because they're small enough that they won't affect. And then yeah, I mean, so that's what I do.
Oh, that sounds good. Yeah. Nikki, do you got some packing? You always have some cool gadgets.
I was going to say, I have a few things. First of all, I think that's really cool that you guys send luggage out to them so they can pack it, because that is like then I know how much room I have and I know what needs to fit in it, and I'm not trying to guess. I've got this much travel space. So my first thing is my throw, which you can actually usually pick them up like when you're traveling into the beach areas and stuff. This one actually was from Costa Rica, and you can use it on the planes as like your blankets. They work great as swimming suit wraps too. So I've got the blanket on the plane, and then I can use it as the wrap or to wrap myself when I'm running in the hotels and kind of need a quick cover up to kind of cover myself as I'm getting through down to the gym areas and stuff like that. They also work, they're really small and light, so you can fold them and put them into your day pack, or like your backpack. So when it cools down at night, you've got something to throw over your legs or your arms if you get cold. So that's one of my favorite things to pack. I also like traveling with shampoos and stuff, I tried to cut that down because I don't like to travel with the liquids, especially for flight traveling because we have to pull them out. And I think it was you, April, like a year ago when we were on
Yeah.
talking, and you said something about hair soap being in bars, and what
Yes.
an amazing difference that was to take the hair soap and the bug sprays and stuff and turn those into solid forms. It makes it a lot easier to travel that way. So, and I try to go light. Light, usually you can get by with a handful of outfits and
Mhm.
just a couple gadgets usually. And always remember your headphones. Headphones and um, telephones, because the telephone is how we communicate and take photos. So if I forget the camera or I'm packing light, the camera on the phone is usually just as good as my big Canon camera, depending on, what I'm trying to shoot. So those are the few I have right off the top of my head.
Yeah. Those are good. Deborah?
I'm thinking a power bank as well, to charge your
Yes.
phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yes.
one's invaluable. And your charging cords.
Mm-hmm. Especially when you're traveling. And another thing on the charger phones, I was listening to a lady the other day when I was at the airport, and she was standing behind me and she was like almost in a panic because she was talking to her daughter and she's like, I've got to call your aunt, but my phone's almost dead.
Mm,
There's a battery saving mode on your phone. So if you're
mm,
traveling and you don't have access to electricity, kick on that battery saving mode, and that helps a lot during that travel. It was enough to give her enough charge to be able to get out of the customs line and back out to make her call so she could be picked up.
mm,
Oh,
Great tip
yeah.
like that.
Yeah. Or when you're out during the day too, I try to remind people like, during the day, we like to take our pictures, but if you're not needing to be on Wi-Fi and all of that,
mhm,
just put it in airplane mode. You can still take pictures and do all of that, and that saves so much of your battery. Saves a
And
lot.
the other good thing about airplane mode is that keeps people from texting and disturbing you when you're trying to be
mhm,
present with your travel, but then you're still able to take your photos and
Yes.
be present with your group and whatever you're doing on your tour.
Oh,
mhm,
exactly. Excellent. Yeah. And I even did a test on this last New England trip. I took a laptop, but the days are so short, in the
mhm,
fall. It gets dark at about like 6 o'clock. And I was like, I want to enjoy where I'm at. I want to enjoy where we're staying. I want to sit outside and all of that. So I thought, I'm only taking the laptop if I absolutely need it. And I didn't take it out the entire 10 days. And I
mhm,
was so happy when I got back, like, I did it. I did
mhm,
it. I was mad that I carried it around, but it was kind of my
mhm,
first experiment, especially when I was leading a group. I thought, you know what? I might need to access something for them, or I might need to access their document, or, something like that. But I had put a lot of stuff just on a little, one of those portable drives that I could hook into my phone as well. So,
Do you travel with like an tablet? I have kicked over most of my work, not all my work, because the computer is just it's my go-to, it's my life. However, I found out when we went to Mexico, I left the computer behind and I took the tablet and I got one of those little cases that had the little keyboard. So
oh,
it was enough when
cool.
I went back to the room, I was able to, yeah, and the keyboard, the tablet just pops into the keyboard area and it flips up. And so I was able to pull it out and use it by the pool, and it kind of worked as a case also. And that way it allowed me to type so I didn't have to do the finger motions on the
Oh, yes.
tablet.
What
So
kind
I
did you
still had
get?
access to all my business stuff. I've got an Apple.
I
Let me
got
grab
it.
it for
Oh,
you and
it's
I
an
can actually
Yeah.
show
Apple.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just am curious because
Yeah.
I want to get something
Yeah.
smaller.
Just
Give
to
me
be
a
able to.
minute and I'll pop over and I'll grab it and show it to you.
Okay. Deborah, I'm sorry, we went off on a tangent on
oh,
electronics.
yeah, that's quite all right. Yeah, I don't use the packing cubes. Number one, because I never think of it until I'm ready to go somewhere. So
Okay.
it's too late then. But what I found works for me is I'll pull out things that I really like, and then I'll notice that I have maybe a color scheme going. A lot of things may be black or white or black and white or whatever. And so then I start mixing and matching enough, for the days of my trip. And then the rest of the stuff I just put back. Um, and I try to bring only what I think I'm going to wear. Because normally I don't wear the extra
Right.
things I bring. Yeah, it's just useless. So I
Yeah.
just try to really just bring the bare minimum, and so far that's worked for me.
No,
Yeah,
that's
maybe just
great.
a change, but that's it. And I make sure I have plenty of underwear. I'm like Kathy, just one for each day. And if something happens, I can always, rinse them out or wash them or whatever. But I've gotten pretty good at just the minimum
Oh, that's
and not
great.
being emotionally involved in packing. I mean, when I went to Calgary, my cousin packed everything but the kitchen sink.
I know.
And then she was terrified that her luggage was over, and it was under by 1 pound.
Oh no.
And I'm saying, don't, you know, yeah, watch what you pack. And then half of the things she didn't wear.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah. So
That
yeah,
is
the
so
only thing we
sweet.
took that I didn't use were hand warmers.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah, I don't know why we didn't use them because it was cold enough for them. But anyway, that's what I do, and I find that works for me.
No, those are some really good tips because I
Right.
think too. It's like I tend to have to start early because I tend to do a little bit of overpacking. I think
Yeah.
I'm still guilty of that, and I do
Mhm.
videos when I get back to try to show myself like you didn't even wear those two extra pair of pants, you know?
Right.
So
Right.
I keep trying, and I know it's going to be a lifelong goal, but
Yeah.
I've stuck to the size of suitcase that going there
Mhm.
if I choose to, it would be able to go in the overhead. It's the size that fits on the plane. I am
Mhm.
not buying a bigger suitcase because again, you're gonna buy souvenirs, you're gonna bring
Yeah.
something back, and then
Mhm.
it's gonna be too heavy and just unfortunately I'm not gonna get younger. I might be maybe get a little stronger, but
Right.
you got to be able to lug that thing around. And so I keep trying to go less, less, less. Like that's why
Yeah.
even the computer, having it in my back pocket, it's a full on laptop and it's
Happy.
heavy.
Very
Yeah.
Mhm.
happy.
It
So
is.
that's why even leading the tour this time, I gave myself a challenge. I'm like, you know what? A lot of what I do is paper maps and looking at my
Mhm.
notes. And I've done this trip enough where it's like, I can go on my phone and look at Google Maps. I can get my weather. I can, check in with my contacts that are out in these areas to get color updates or whatever it is. I really
Mhm.
don't want to open the laptop because then I get involved
Right.
in all that other stuff. I don't, I just want to be off the email as much as possible, unless it's an emergency. It's like I want to enjoy my travels and
Right.
be in the
Yeah, then
moment.
you need
Yeah,
to get
that's
one of
right.
these, April. I mean, this is like
Oh my
Oh
compact,
gosh.
yeah.
and
Mhm.
then like it pops open and it goes to so I've got the
Nice.
keyboard
Oh,
area
that
down
is
on the bottom
nice.
of it. So
Mhm.
I've got the tablet area with the keyboard, and so it's all compact, and then I'm working on it folds up and slides right into the backpack.
Yes.
And
Mm.
I mean, it's lightweight, and then I've got something protecting it. So if I drop it, because I drop a lot of things,
Mhm.
but then it's easy to go, and it links with my telephone so that
Oh,
Mm.
I'm
nice.
able
Mm.
to, if stuff's saved on my phone and my business contacts and stuff. So if somebody needed me, I
Mhm.
have everything I need, but then I can also put it on airplane mode and not be disturbed. Um,
Right. Yes, exactly. That's nice. Lori, you have
so
one too?
one of
Is
the
that
other
what you were
I
things
saying?
do. I was looking to see if I could find it.
Is yours Apple also or?
Yeah, it's an Apple. It's an Apple iPad, and I have the same little case with the keyboard.
Oh,
hmm
nice.
And
Yeah.
I don't use the keyboard very often, but it sure is nice if I feel like I need to write something down because I don't like handwriting and I don't like trying to type it out on the tablet area. So if I'm in that writing or need to send an email real quick, I can sit down and pound it out, which is really nice. So
Mhm. It's like a little laptop. That's what it feels like, a tiny little
yeah, it really is. You would really like one, April. It makes it a lot easier and a lot lighter.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I'll have to watch the tech sales coming up here in
Yeah, really.
mid-February.
Mhm.
See what
I think
see
I
what
got mine on. on like one of those promos where they threw it in with the phone, and like I don't
Oh,
think it
Oh,
yeah.
cost me
Nice.
really anything, maybe a couple bucks a month to throw mobile data on it. That's the
Oh,
other thing
wow.
is it has mobile data on it, which then allows me, so if I am in one of those areas and internet is not easy to access and we do need to access something, because we do pull up lots of maps and things like that, then I have the mobile data that then goes along with it too, and it works worldwide so that I'm able to use it wherever I am.
Yeah. Oh, that's really good. Yeah. Yeah, it's just eliminating those things that take up a lot of weight. I mean,
mhm,
again, because I usually often take one of my large cameras, so it's like, taking the large camera then takes away space from other things. But it's something, again, each person packs differently. It's what's important to them and what they're going to use. And I always wear the
So
bulkiest things on the plane, even if
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
leaving Vegas and gonna go somewhere cold. It's like I got my hiking boots on, I got the
Yeah.
coat, I got it all on.
and another coat tied around the waist, and
Yeah,
then
exactly,
yeah.
right. And I always also take like even saving like one of those little grocery bags and like tucking it in my backpack because like coming back, if I'm leaving a colder place and I got the coat on and stuff, well, coming back to Vegas and it's like maybe 100 degrees, if I've got one of those just pull out little bags, no one counts your bags that you're leaving the plane with. Pull it
Right.
out and take stuff off and shove it in there and throw it around your wrist, and you have
Good
a shopping
idea.
bag of all the stuff you took off.
mhm.
Very good.
Another thing, have you ever donated when you've traveled?
Oh, yes.
So we did a trip where we packed our stuff and then we bought souvenirs and we donated our clothes while we
Oh,
were on the trip. So
Yeah.
we
mhm,
didn't bring back our clothes. Instead, we brought back souvenirs and we donated to the local shelter down in Nicaragua. We donated all of our clothes. So basically, we came back with nothing but souvenirs and my
mhm.
bags. Like I put bags inside of bags. And basically just left it. Um, so
That's
which was
actually
another,
really
it was a really cool way to travel because depending on where you're going and tapping into some of those organizations, churches, donation boxes, things like that, usually it's pretty easy. And sometimes the hotels will actually help you. There have been a few trips where some of the staff are like, we know exactly where that needs to go. We've got the homeless shelter right down the street.
Oh,
We'll take that bag over for you. And they help disperse it too. So just another little interesting
no,
way to
I like
travel.
that. I like that. And it's something because I don't,
April,
yeah.
the trip that we were on, the one of the couples did that, gave us a bag of clothes to give to the poor people in Egypt.
And that's what I was gonna say. Like, I know when we took Lori's Egypt tour, there was a couple that was on the trip, and they kind of planned ahead for that too. Like,
Yeah.
they like to shop, and that's everybody's travels differently. So same thing. They like bought all their goodies that were gonna have to go in their check bag, and they donated shoes. They donated like full on
Hmm.
outfits. So I think too, it's something. I know Kathy even in Alaska, she purposely took a jacket, and Kathy left it at the hotel, and the hotel actually contacted me, and I'm like, no, no, we meant to leave that. But going forward, I think leading tours is something even that I can do ahead of time is identify places that at the end of the trip that should people just want to, you know, then you don't, again, you're not having to make extra space. You made space, you brought back whatever you wanted to bring back, and maybe half your things you're done with. And
Well, and if you leave a suitcase, if you bring a carry-on and you are gonna lug another suitcase, you can throw that carry-on in the suitcase and eliminate a bag fee.
that's
And
true
if
too.
you use things like the roll-up duffel bags and stuff like that, or backpacks, those
Mhm.
roll up and put inside of each other really nicely too, which then saves you spend $39 on a bag to get there, then I get to save the $39 on the way back because I don't need my bags.
Right. Yeah, that's a really good point. And you're also, I mean, we all, let's face it, most of us, and then in the United States, we have plenty of things in our closet that, we no longer aren't really wearing. So, go through and bring a couple of those things that you're going to wear on the trip and that are ready to like, you know what, I'm done with these, move them on out to someone else.
Moving on out.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that a lot. That's a really good idea.
For cold areas, I've started buying some thin Monero wool sweaters. They're not bulky, but they're warm. And those have I wore them in when I went to Alaska, and I'm going to take them with me to Antarctica. Another thing, though, I don't buy souvenirs. I don't need a lot of tchotchkes around my house. I've got so much junk already. So I limit myself to buying one souvenir for every trip,
Mhm.
and it's almost always a pair of earrings.
Wow.
That's a good
Beautiful.
idea. Yeah,
It-
perfect.
When I get home and I put them on, I remember the trip
Hmm.
and think about the trip. I was just wearing my grizzly bear earrings on Sunday that I got on the Alaska trip, and and they don't take hardly any space, and they don't weigh hardly anything. So I that's one way that I save weight.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I was thinking that the other day because I've started to buy for myself even just a piece of jewelry when I travel, and I know one day my niece is gonna have, I'm gonna or friends, I've thought too, like in the future, it's a gift to give a friend. Go through some of my other jewelries I've picked up or little things that because they're small, they take no room, they're easy to tuck in your carry-on backpack bag, and they're special, they mean something, and hopefully maybe you bought something that was locally made or something unique like that too.
Yeah, I did also buy a photograph from that shop in
Oh yeah.
Etna, and the nice thing was that they shipped it for free, so I didn't have to lug it with me on the trip.
Kathy, who are you going with on the Antarctic cruise? Which company?
I'm going on a big ship, Princess, because I can't go on an expedition ship because I can't get on and off the Zodiac by myself, which is the physical requirements that they have for the expedition ships. I had originally booked an expedition ship before I got sick, but I had to cancel that. So I won't be going ashore
Mhm.
um, because you can't do that with the big cruise ships. So we'll
Oh,
just be cruising by the shoreline.
that's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the largest ships that they allow people to go ashore are 500 passengers
Oh, okay. Like a Nile cruise boat.
because they only allow passengers to go ashore an hour and a half at a time. And that includes the riding back and forth in the Zodiac and 50 passengers at a time.
Mhm.
So if you've got 500 passengers, that's 10 hours of or more than 10 hours of people going back and forth and going ashore. Of
Wow.
course, and it's the summer down there, so it doesn't get dark.
Yeah. Yeah, I think but I have to say, Kathy, considering your mobility challenges, you did excellent at packing. You were, we literally took Kathy and we get to the curb for her to go back to the airport, and she's like, I got this. And she had her bag, her wheelie bag. I mean, she knows how to pack. So she's very, I think you're an excellent example of a traveler who's, choosing the right things and still able to navigate that airport as best you can. without curb to, the additional services that other people might need. And that's huge. I mean,
Well, I still get the wheelchair escort in the airport, and I have them carry my any of my carry-ons, and my power wheelchair that I take, I have to take the batteries out and take them into the cabin. They won't let you put lithium batteries down below. So
Right.
I take a camera bag um, that I found one that was just the right size to fit the batteries and the charger. And I do frequently ask the cabin attendants to carry it down to my seat because it's heavy.
yeah, that's true.
One of the other things that you guys are talking about to stay warm, um, my husband usually wears, I like my hoodies, but he brings rain jackets. He has a
Oh,
really good rain jacket that folds up into like the pocket of itself, so it's about like this big by the time he does that. And it's nice to throw over your outfits even if it's not raining because of the material. It helps keep you warm. When I'm sitting here looking at the snow behind her, in traveling, you're talking about going to Alaska's and all these cruises and stuff, but in the evenings when things get cold, that's usually when I whip out my hoodie, he whips out his rain jacket. My hoodie takes up about 3 times more in the suitcase than his does, though. Which that might also be something else that could help you if you're looking for smaller packing and staying
oh
warm.
yeah. That and
Yeah,
those that and those down jackets, because literally what I'll do with my down jacket is I'll use it like a sweater. I used to take like a cable knit sweater, but the cable knit sweater doesn't compress as well as like some of those lightweight down jackets. And I literally
Hmm.
take a Ziploc bag, put the fold up the down jacket, and then I sit on it to squish all the air out, and it'll go like super flat. It's amazing. So it really, you can get quite a bit in there.
yeah. I got a puffer vest, and it's long. It comes down mid thigh,
Oh, wow.
and I put it in one of those vacuum bags, and boy, it just went almost completely flat.
Yeah. Yeah, those vacuum bags are probably even the next step up from sitting on things, but yeah. And I like if you're looking for like the packing cubes, look for the ones that are compression that have double zipper so that again, you keep pushing more air out. You just keep pushing more and more air out, and it's amazing how much you can actually kind of fit into your suitcase then. I mean, honestly, you want to try to take less, but you still got to take some pants and if you're going to these colder places, sweaters. And I know this fall I took a lot of merino wool, as you were saying, Kathy. It's a little, check your thrift stores and eBay and stuff, but even if you decide to invest in a new one, you'll definitely get your wear out of it. I mean, pick a basic color and then, like Deborah was saying, if you have a color scheme, throw some extra. Sheila, who I used to know, traveled quite a bit. She loved scarves. So she would have, some people are really good with the scarves. I'm terrible with scarves, but just little accessories can change it up a little bit, things like that. Or, I figure kind of like Kathy, and I know you guys have mentioned too, it's like, you know what, I'm going on the trip. I'm here to enjoy the trip. And, so I wear the same combination of things a few days in a row.
Do you
Nikki,
guys pack? Do you pack? Can you hear me? Okay, I'm sorry,
yes.
my audio was cutting in and out. Do you guys pack like laundry soaps? I bring little, like they make like little Tide travel
Yeah.
things or that you can throw in and do your stuff in the sink. The
Hmm.
quick drying, like you were saying earlier, the
Yes.
quick drying garments. What I really like my running shorts, I guess is what they technically are, because they have the liner and they're just a decent short, and I can wash them really quick in the hotel sink, and they hang up in the bathroom and they're dry the next morning. They work really well in the swimming pools too. So if you're doing that, like not
Oh,
sure
yeah.
what we're going to be doing, and then you need to jump into a pool, those are really nice to travel with too if you're doing a lot of beaches and pools and things like that.
Mhm.
Yeah,
If
that's a great tip.
I'm someplace warm, I take bicycle shorts.
Mm-hmm.
The only problem with them is they don't have pockets.
I like my pockets when I travel.
I know, me too. Yeah.
I wear a fanny pack on my stomach, and that's where I keep my camera and my wallet and my passport. Um, so it's very secure and it's lightweight, and a lot of times they don't count it as a carry-on, especially if I
Right.
have a jacket on over it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. It's put the jacket on
They
over
take
it.
their heart.
Exactly. I like those laundry sheets that come in sheets now too. Those work
I
really
was
Yeah.
gonna
well.
say, have you used those? And you
I
can,
Yeah.
have.
can
Yeah.
you? I
Yeah.
haven't used those yet,
Yeah.
but everybody, I need to try some if you guys say that they're good. I haven't talked to anybody who's used them yet, so
Yeah.
I'll have to look
Oh,
up
yeah.
some of
I've
those for
been
my
using
next
them a
trip.
lot.
I changed over to, I used to use those little Tide packets.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The soap leaves are take much less room. And of course, because they're not liquid, you don't have to worry about, uh, getting them through security.
Hmm. Yep.
Yeah, I just count out a couple sheets, and honestly, if it's just a little bit of underwear or a few tank tops or whatever, I always make sure I have like a 2 gallon or a gallon Ziploc bag, and you don't even need that much. But yes, try it at home. I'll put the links in the video at the end of the ones I like that have worked for me. I've gotten them off of Amazon, and you know,
Well, I didn't even think about being able to rip them. So you could do
yes,
like one or two things instead of doing a whole, like sometimes I'm like, I've got like one thing to wash and I don't want to use the whole packet of stuff
yeah,
right here. So
right.
that must be nice. Yeah, I'll have to try that next time.
I cut them in half before I leave home, so I can decide whether or not to use one or two. And I put them in a little one of those snack size Ziploc bags.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they take up
It's a good
no
idea.
room. Yeah, and again, since they're not liquid, I mean, it's just like having paper in your bag, literally. So then it's just a matter of remembering what part of your suitcase they went into, so you know where to find them again.
Yep.
If if you take a lot of medications like I do, instead of taking pill boxes, I take uh, pill pack, tiny little Ziploc bags
I've heard of that.
size, and I make one up for my morning meds and one up for my evening meds for every day, plus usually 3 days, just in case I get stuck
Yeah.
someplace.
Yeah.
And and then I take photographs of the actual label.
Mhm.
That's
So,
smart.
they always tell you, that you should take them in the original. That would be my whole suitcase.
Right.
I took up my meds in their original package. So I just take the picture of the label that shows my name and the prescription number and the name of the med.
That's smart. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. What other gadgets have you got, Nikki?
I'm looking around here.
I know.
So
I
does anybody travel with a tens machine?
Tens,
So if,
tens unit.
uh-huh, like a
I
tens unit.
I do.
So
no.
So these you can travel with and throw them in. They're little. You put the little pads on you, and
Yeah.
they're like, I don't want to
Zapper.
say electrocute. Yeah, they
Yeah, it's a
zap. So
zap.
like if you've
Happy
got
little
pain,
participant.
they're
Yeah.
for pain, and they're really easy to throw in to the bag, into your carry-on and into your travel bags. And you can wear them on the plane. If sometimes they help, some I know people who they help and I know people who they don't help. So, but if you use them, they're very portable and very easy to take with you when you're traveling. So,
Yeah,
and
I take,
always.
I have to use one every day, and um, so I take mine with me. Uh, I also have to take a CPAP though, and I'm hoping in December when I have my annual checkup with my sleep doctor that he's gonna let me get a new CPAP machine that weighs less. Um, the travel ones he doesn't like. He doesn't think they're effective. But the model that I have, um, the company has come out with a new model, and it's smaller and lighter. So I'm hoping I can take that. I mean, it doesn't count against my luggage
Mhm.
because it's a medical device, but it's still something I have to haul around.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah, it all adds up. Yeah.
So one thing,
And
I'm
then
a diabetic, so I have an insulin pump, and I have to take my pump supplies and then my Dexcom, which is continuous glucose monitor, and the insulin and everything. And I keep that in a separate pack, small piece of luggage, but it's an additional piece of luggage. And they are also not allowed to count that against me for carry-ons. That is considered medical, just like the CPAP.
Yeah, I have mine, my medical equipment and supplies with a big label on them that says medical supplies.
Yeah, I have a Red Cross on it.
oh,
And
that's smart.
Yeah, I
um,
embroidered it on.
the main thing is you have to be careful not to put anything in
Other
that
than
bag other than medical supplies.
correct. They will ask you to open it up, and if they find underwear in there or something, I do keep candy in there because that's for a low, and that actually is.
Yeah,
But you can keep
that
anything.
that makes sense
Yeah.
for you to have candy as part of your medical supplies.
Yeah, that does make sense. Yeah. The other thing I've started taking is a little collapsible coffee mug because I drink a lot of coffee when I travel, and I found it's called Hideaway is the company, and they make a collapsible mug that's reusable so it doesn't take up much space, and that way when I get to my hotel or I'm doing my road trips, I have it each day, and I'm hoping, it's that little bit of not having paper cups, and, I know I'm going to use it. So now I just need to find a little taller tumbler that's not super heavy but usable because a lot of the tumblers are kind of heavy.
Another good thing is to bring a water bottle with you. So even if you have to fill the water from the plastic bottle or something, just to have
Yes.
like one of those little hooks that go onto your backpack, or if it fits inside your backpack in one of the little net sleeves,
Oh,
that's even
that's
better.
true. Yeah.
So that
Well,
way,
and I always recommend, oh,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead. Sorry.
go ahead.
I
So sorry.
always recommend taking that water bottle empty through security and filling it on the other side before you get on the airplane, especially now because there's so many people sitting on tarmacs
Yes.
and being held up at gates and stuff. And technically, if you're on the plane and you're on a tarmac, they shouldn't be getting up and doing drink service. I've sat on a tarmac, I believe for it was almost 5 hours once. Like literally we sat there the whole time that we should have been in the air because there was issues with unloading and loading, and we were getting ready to take off, and there was a storm, and the water bottle, the people who brought water were the happy people who were sitting there versus
Yes.
the other people who were waiting patiently when they finally said, well, we're going to do drink service as we sat here because you've all been here for so long. But having water with you is crucial, I think, when you're traveling.
Oh,
Yeah, and
totally.
I bring snacks as well. I have a bag of snacks like um, trail mix or whatever, or even like a little thing of Pringles, something, just something to munch on. Well, if you're stuck in a plane or there's no food available,
Oh,
just something to
totally.
have.
Yeah. Yeah.
I learned that from my kids when they were little. Like if you were the parent that didn't have the food, those kids were screaming the whole time.
Right.
You just shove it. So, little quiet.
Yeah, that's so
Makes for
true.
very long travel, huh?
Yeah.
Just give the kid a cracker, please.
Lunchables was my friend.
Yeah, but I think
were
I want to
mine
look
too.
for something that's like a good travel water bottle that's not super heavy. Because
Yes.
I have, I usually use one that I fill up, but it's just those plastic ones. I need to find something that's more, just that I can keep using. That's more.
Little one, so heavy.
Yeah, because the
Metal
metal ones are heavy. Yeah, the thermosy ones are heavy. So, well, any last? We threw out a lot of good ideas, guys, just in a short hour here. So, Deborah, did you have any other questions, quick, or anything to add? And we'll have to do
No,
another.
no, I didn't have anything to add. I learned a lot today, though.
Oh, good. Yeah.
I'm going on a cruise week after next for 8 days, and then I'll be going to Panama in March. So for an extended period of time. So yeah, so these are good tips.
Yeah, I'll
For
try to.
making yourself comfortable.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah,
it is. It's a lot about making yourself comfortable because,
right. Yeah. So and I always bring my shampoo and conditioner, but why? I mean, when it's already there. So that may be something I can eliminate.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. Well, I'll try to make a list of all the things that got thrown out and put it in the show notes for people. So it'll be in the, so if there's anything you want to email me afterwards, that's totally fine too. And we'll add the
Yeah.
notes. And thank you, ladies, so much for joining me tonight and giving me your travel tips. And
Yeah,
I'll
this was
include,
fun.
yeah, I'll
Yes. Nice
include
meeting
Nick.
you all.
Yeah, nice to meet you all. I'll include a link to Nikki's
Yeah.
website with her books. And Lori's got
Mm-hmm.
some great tours lined up. And I've got a
Mm-hmm.
few things. And I'll post the next. We'll try to do a few more of these through the end of
Yeah.
the year. So
Yeah. Yeah. Let's
You
do.
have a.
I miss it.
Always
It was
pack
great seeing you, April.
things 3 days before the trip. And then each day after I take something out of the suitcase.
Oh,
Mm.
yeah, that's smart.
that's smart. Yeah, that is a good tip.
Yeah.
I
Well,
packed too early. I've forgotten everything that I've packed, and I have to go through it and rehab because I can't remember that I packed it.
right,
It's
exactly.
my husband's the 3 days before. I pull out the suitcase weeks before, and somehow
Mm-hmm.
he seems to always still get there with everything he needs. Um, the one thing
Mm.
that we always check when we get in the car is those passports, because I can buy
Yes.
shampoo, I can buy deodorant, I can buy
Yes.
whatever I need wherever I get, but I cannot
Mm-hmm.
buy a passport at the airport. So
That's right.
passport and where you're checking in for your hotel are like the two big things for
Yep.
me.
Credit
So
card.
Yep.
That's all you pretty much need on your phone, and you're
mhm.
good.
Right. Right. Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you so much,
Thank you,
and it was
ladies.
good to see everyone. Have a great Thanksgiving, or
Yeah,
if I
you
don't see you
too.
before.
You too.
Okay. Thank
Take
you.
care.
Bye-bye. Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you too. Bye.